Dancehall love me everything.
This week, Sting highlights in ER2. The story of Sting is also that of its original champion, Ninja Man. Earlier encounters between the Don Gorgon and Shabba and later Supercat were followed by Bounty Killer going up against Beanie Man in '93.
You're a dictionary. You're not dictionary. You're not dictionary. You're not making no words for yourself. Everything I say, you repeat after. What's this? Let me try.
It was another incident-filled dancehall night at Sting '93. A young boy was killed by a security guard. On stage, two DJs tried to murder each other with lyrics. In a classic Sting standoff with predictable results, Sting turned into fling. But Sting was also about letting off steam and seeing some DJs at their best.
From man, but not your conscience. Wouldn't have the bread that's sorrow, drink the wine of violence, allow yourself to be conquered by the serpent.
Bounty Killer, is there ever a Sting where something controversial doesn't happen? What happened to you?
Well, nothing don't really happen to me, Tony, but everyone have it say a big thing take place, but I don't see the big thing. The big thing to me is that the battle throwing. That is the big thing at the stage shows to me now, because throwing battle at the artist is a big danger.
Jano, this clash thing is really waste of time. Because if the people might call for it and after a time them don't want it, I don't really understand.
Despite speculation of both picking up where they'd left off, Sting '94 was fireworks free. No DJs clashed, no bottles were thrown. Culture reigned and consciousness ruled, and togetherness was the byword on stage.
Respect to the people and for keep the peace. I want you to keep it every time. Shall love you.
A relief to some, a big letdown to others looking forward to dueling DJs, building and firing off verbal arsenals. Brigadier Jerry and Josie Wales were called off after they'd barely begun. DJ Merciless was shown no mercy by the promoters. He had the misfortune to come on just before Bounty Killer and lasted only a few seconds. Bounty Killer had the hardcore lyrics, but no one to bounce them off of. And despite being sprayed with champagne by a fan, Beanie Man just couldn't find his voice and had little to celebrate. Like her male counterparts, Notorious Lady Saw was reined in by the organizers.
No one still in but Mr. Lengroni pressure me no.
If Sting fans felt let down by their hardcore heroes, the singers more than held their ground through the likes of Sanchez.
Just take these chains away and set me free.
And a three-pronged set from Coca T, Freddie McGregor and John Holt. Restrained yet optimistic, the trio seemed to personify the post-Garnet Silk mood of Sting '94. Looking every inch the star he's become, DJ Butchie Banton stormed on stage with hits to spare. It's always hard being the final act at Sting, but unlike last year when the show ended prematurely, there was no stopping Capleton this time around. Sting '95 was a mixed bag. Set-piece clashes threatened to turn nasty, but it was business as usual on Boxing Day. Sting is the musical marathon of the holiday season, more than 10 hours of continuous live performances. Showgoers have staying power but little patience. Whether it's new talent, served up first as starlight, or established stars, Sting audiences take no prisoners if they get no satisfaction. Once riled up, they've been known to throw bottles. The tide turned at Sting '94 thanks to the scrapping of clashes between hostile DJs. Sting '95 will also go down in memory as relatively incident-free, although the promoters did take more risks. Like last year, they sent out tried-and-true singers like Freddie McGregor and John Holt to sweep the field of potential minds. But this year there were more peacekeepers setting the stage, in formations of 3 and 4, ahead of those unpredictable DJs. A notable addition was Dennis Brown.
Should I have faith in you?
should have put my trust in you.
Backstage, a band change mix-up resulted in DJ Tony Rebel refusing to be rescheduled, and what was intended to be a friendly clash between Papa San and Lieutenant Stitchie backfired when they started to attack each other's jingles for commercials. Try as the promoters did, there was just no mixing orange juice with cow's milk.
That mean you pick on the wrong man. I am Son, I am not Buckingham.
Another set-piece clash involving perennial Sting bad boy Ninja Man and Mad Cobra also threatened to get out of hand. This time promoter Isaiah Leng stepped in, much to the crowd's disappointment. Called on stage by Mad Cobra, DJ Gringo was ignored by Ninja Man and sank without a trace. Pushing another year of togetherness at Sting was easier said than done. Beanie Man and Bounty Killer may well be on speaking terms again, but theirs are a clash of styles and fans. Hyped to the hilt and dressed to kill, it didn't take much for Beanie Man to prove his boast of being the ladies' first choice. The versatile Slam Man had the right stage moves and more than enough hits to reel off. But at Sting 95, Bounty Killer had the edge in crowd reaction. Killer's rough and ready lyrics were right up Sting's street, hardcore and fed up. Cutting across the Beanie Man Bounty Killer divide and armed with songs from the year's unquestionably best album was Butcher Banton. Lady Saw was up to her usual X-rated antics, and a photographer who got too close was made to suffer the consequences. An amusing diversion from the trend carried over from Sting 94, which is towards the reality-based protest music of DJs like Paperton, Bounty Killer and Butcher Banton. No guesses who took the prize for hardcore sex talk. Lady Saw, hands down. Moses Davis, aka Beanie Man, took a surgical approach to Sting. One of the leading hit makers of 1996, this doctor specializes in dancehall gynecology. Relatively quiet for most of the year, Butcher Banton had a late surge with songs like Run the Place, a wake-up call to the competition that this jockey is still in the race. While Butcher Banton lost his hat at Sting, Bounty Killer lost his cool. The year's dominant DJ had put out that he was giving Sting a miss for 96. But there he was anyway, and the fans loved it.
To me, I go about me ways. Now boots no clash the last few months and days. Link up with Fugees and create waves. And bust to rhymes with the whole world appraise. My experience album is a tornado. Meet the billboard that cock up them ears. Patrick Roberts warn him won't behave. Me wonder if the boy ever check call him age. Look like him one die 9 young days. And I me call him turn in a masquerade. Put her in a drawers and bore your 2 ears. Put her in a lipstick and your hair braid. Put your body deep on the screen, yes, go.
Always a wild card, Killer seems once more to have taken the warpath, riding west to do battle with an ever-growing list of old and new enemies, including Beanie Man, Supercat, Ninja Man, and oddly enough, Butcher Banton. Sting 97 saw the Warlord brooking no opposition at the stadium, but he later apologized to the fans. Fast forward a year, and Sting stages an exciting recovery after a couple of flops.
You know me have a brand new song. Tell you what the wife, here is Dead Man Body.
The greatest one-night reggae show on earth was living up to its billing once again. The crowds were back, also some of the old excitement. And after saying clashes were bad for the business, Isaiah Leng and company looked at falling attendance and this year called out the hounds.
What's my name?
Sting also summoned rap lord DMX.
All I know is pain. All I feel is rain. How can I maintain with that shit on my brain? I resort to violence. My niggas moving silent. Like you don't know what I style. Jamaica is the wildest.
Sting 2000 was a little hip-hop and lots of dancehall. Eye-popping, loud and gimmicky like the old days. And there were DJs with new scores to settle. A call by Vegas for DJs Bounty Killer and Sizzler included to stop boycotting Sting set off the night's first fireworks.
Some man talk about it tune, we talk about it tune. I mean do sucky ducky. You say me I say I mean do Sheeza and all of them tunes. So one man say Vegas you go find some it tune. Mediocre artists. Mediocre artists what? Respect the Bounty Killer, you have all that big bad tune them, yeah? But Vegas fine tune too. I used to sleep on floor and you used to sell figures, so me for disrespect you.
Beenie Man was more Jet Li than Doctor, but the force is still with dancehall's ace entertainer. Beenie Man was in martial arts mode, but bashment blood was yet to be spilled. The ultimate act was the biggest thrill for the Garrison generation.
Hear this. That man talk already, I mean I talk again. Why you gonna do the mountain don't tell? Who's talking to an informer?
Two ghetto gladiators, both in desperate need of a career boost, bare teeth and crossed lyrical daggers. Sting's champion Ninja Man was meeting the man who ran away from Bounty Killer back in '97. But this time, Merciless was ready. Merciless was ready even when Lang sent in reinforcements. On came Clashmaster Bounty Killer and fella Sting Bottle Dugger Beenie Man. Alas, Warhead refused to play dead.
Say them a bad man and them know the root of war. Force me to put on me suit of war. Me hat, me shirt, me boot of war. All me belt, me buckle and me do war. Out of me magic. Pop off me three-star rocket. Even my bicycle's rocket.
Set up, buck up, whatever. Underdog Merciless was top dog at Sting 2000. Who would have guessed it?
A top, 3 man in place. Top, Merciless, cook war and share war and super war. Yo, Merciless is the biggest DJ in the world. 3 power and murder. Merciless fighting. Some guy living on one style and one.
Ninja Man dead. Wanna say, Bounty dead, Beenie dead, Ninja Man, what's a dead? Them get killed by Warhead.
Dancehall can't stop.